Between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome along to the VRRC Mini Challenge Series, official Mini Challenge Series as well. This was my in point into esports commentary during COVID, because we had Anthony Williams back in the day, did a series like this and got us all sort of off our backsides and back onto our backsides in the studio to commentate during COVID on a virtual series. And it's great to sort of go full circle, and we're not going to stop here. We're going to carry on with other series as well. But thank you to Ria Beauchamp and all of the team at Mini for getting involved with this, getting it together. So me, Richard John Neal, as lead commentator over the course of the next 7 Tuesdays. And I've got to say, Ria and the team have done a fantastic job, the best job in getting a literally stellar lineup of co-commentators with us. And our first one is Dan Zelos. Dan, very good evening to you. How are you?
Yeah, good evening to you too. Yeah, it's pleasure to be on. You were saying about how this was the start of your journey. This was very similar to me too. When we went into COVID, I got myself a sim from the help from VRRC, and the mini challenge series was the first one I did. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to be doing the commentating for it rather than racing myself. And I'm already starting to feel like I should be out there.
That's good. Well, hopefully we'll see you out on track at some point, which would be good, Dan. But as a multiple champion in minis, I can't think of anyone better or more appropriate to start off as our co-commentator. And it's something we pride ourselves on at VRRC, getting very best people coming in and co-commentating. We've had some new people as well who are learning their way in the world of commentary, which is great. But experience really counts for. Here's the calendar. Donington today. Next week we are at Oulton Park Island. You can see the theme here really building around the TOCA venues that both championships, the Trophy and the JCWs, race at week in, week out. Croft for round 4, then we go to Silverstone National. Thruxton, a little bit out of place probably compared to the order of the other ones, but we round things up as we do with TOCA at Brands Hatch GP round 7 on August the 19th, which I think is just after, it's a week or so after we go back after the TOCA summer break, but predominantly the majority of the rounds here are for the summer break. Here's the lineup. This is the point I'm going to hand over to Mr. VRRC himself, Rich Hayden.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming along and watching the first round of our mini challenge. So we've got a great entry list. In fact, it's probably going to expand the entry list as well. We've got 20 drivers in at the moment, but I'm getting inundated by other people still wanting to join. So we're probably going to open up entry again for round 2. But at the moment, we've got a great lineup of sim racers, real drivers, real mini drivers, real racing drivers. So really pleased with the lineup. Got some fantastic liveries there. So our livery guy, Kenny, has put those together and he's done a great job. So really some really good liveries out there and looking forward to seeing them out on track. Also, we have our next Touring Car Championship, which is coming up on the 16th of July. So that's on Wednesday nights. And we're doing something slightly different this time round. So we normally run a Touring Car Championship with multiple cars in there, but we've decided to do a head-to-head. So BMW versus Audi, front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive. So we've got quite a few drivers that prefer rear wheel and some drivers that prefer front wheel. So we've put these together and we're hitting a few tracks from around the world, some pretty good tracks there from the World Touring Car Series and some others as well. So really looking forward to that. That starts on Wednesday the 16th. And we broadcast live from 7 p.m. Still some spaces on the grid if anybody wants to get involved. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and that's going to be broadcast. And we're going to have good old Scott Woodwis as our main commentator for that championship, because we just keep you too busy, Richard. You're just too busy for us. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think 2 evenings a week could be a little bit much, but I'm probably going to drop in for some of the touring car ones, to be perfectly honest. So looking forward to cracking on with some of those, and it depends if I can get a word in sideways with Scott, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, we know that challenge. Hopefully Scott's listening, but yeah, he's got a good way about him. He's always good for a chat.
He is, yeah. But looking forward to that, and as I say, looking forward to working with everyone from Mini over the next few weeks. If you are watching this one either live or on catch up, and you fancy having a go, don't be shy about getting in touch with Rich via social media and coming along and having a go with us at any stage of the competition, even if it's a one-off. We can have guest drivers at any stage during the course of the competition. So if you do fancy having a go, get in touch, and it'd be great to have you on the grid. And if you're a casual spectator, what better opportunity to race against some of the real world JCW and trophy drivers, as well as our own VRRC people. It's a really mega opportunity. This is where we are today. You're all going to be familiar with Donington Park, so I probably don't need to explain the track map too much. In terms of an onboard, we've got a hot lap for you, and I've managed to coerce Dan Zelos into kind of describe what's happening with our hot lap, which we're going to go into just about now. And this is where we put Dan on the spot. I'm sure he's done all this before, really. And it's what we tend to do during our ITV commentary, is have an onboard, which Paul O'Neill will talk about or squeak about, as he does fairly high pitched commentary. And the guy giving us to that round here is Jack Smith. So Dan, talk us round.
Yeah, so we come up to turn one, we did ready gate. We're trying to make the most of the track coming into here, so you can see where he just blended into the pit lane a little bit. A nice late apex, using all of the curb available, and then using all the track on exit as well. As we're coming down towards Craners, very ballsy part of the circuit, I must say. If you get it right, this is all completely flat out, using all the curb on the left, keeping it left, because then you've got the very, very difficult old hairpin. Making the most out of the track. On the entry and on the exit as well, running a little bit wide, but it is the fastest way, and very important to get the exit. You've got this uphill section here, coming around the left into McLean's, touching that left curb, not too much to unsettle you before going through the right. Very difficult one to get right that as you were going uphill, but it was done very nicely by our driver there. Blind right-hander coming up next, very difficult one to get your apex, trying to get it on the curb and not go too wide on exit, just try and keep distance as short as possible before the long run up to the penultimate corners of the chicane. Chicane, good overtaking opportunity, and a very difficult one to get right. It comes quicker than you think it does. Braking on the downhill part, turning it into the right, get a nice bit of curb, get on the throttle nice and early to really get the exit. If you don't, you can brake late to try and defend your place, and then you come under attack at the red gate at the very next corner. A great track, and should give some good racing.
Good lap there from Jack Smith, and really comp actually slightly slower than Andy Carroll did in the session that we had immediately before getting going. There was a practice session going on today, and thanks Dan, by the way, for being our guide through that. Much better than I would have done. So very useful indeed. Yeah, Jack's time 1:13.93. and Andy Carroll did a 1:13.793. We're not down to that at the moment, but qualifying is already underway, and we've got 6 minutes left of qualifying. And at the moment, top of the chart is Thomas Potter, who our regular viewers will know is one of our sort of young chargers, 13 years of age. We've got another mini regular actually, just having a quick look down, which is Jack McCall, who is in 13th place. Welcome, Jack. So as I'm not sure who is the youngest out of the two. Thomas still isn't old enough to race junior formally and won't be until the end of the year. But he was signed up, had a handshake agreement to run in the Toka Junior Championship at the end of this year when he would have been old enough to do it. But sadly, obviously, that not happening. But he's getting plenty of experience, still doing a bit of karting and running with us. I think 4th or 5th in our World Endurance League, which is for GT3 at the moment, and that concludes tomorrow night. But Thomas doing a grand job at the moment. Andy Dorman P2, and the top of our real world drivers here is Alex Solly, and Dan Alex is doing a very good job against our regulars here.
Yeah, it's great to see one of our JCW drivers flying our flag for us. So yeah, Alex is doing a really good job. But he's he's got some good company up there. James Black, he's a Cooper Trophy winner and a great friend of mine. And then just behind him, Harry Hickton as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys get on against the normal sim racers. I'm sure they'll put on a good show, and I know none of them will shy away from a good battle. So yeah, it's gonna be a great one to watch.
It's good to see those guys right in the mix, and for me, you know, coming back to this against some, we've got real world drivers in the VRRC grouping anyway, a couple of 750 lads and so on and so forth that come and join us. But to get the actual real world mini drivers in is pretty mega. As we look at Andy Carroll, who is trying to chase down the man who did our hot lap, Jack Smith, in terms of the World Endurance League tomorrow night, and always very, very consistent. Andy Carroll. I can't remember whether he prefers front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. He's doing a good job in the Endurance League, as you say, P2 at the moment, and doing a good job here in third place up ahead of Alex Solly. I was going to ask whether the Napa logo this year is worth, on Alex Solly's car, is worth an extra tenth or two.
Yeah, I think definitely for sure. If we're in a touring car championship, I'd be definitely agreeing with you on that one, definitely. But no, it looks very, very tight at the top at the moment. You know, a couple of tenths over the top five or so. You know, it's definitely can't call it yet. I think these races are gonna be very interesting.
It is going to be fascinating to see, but Thomas Potter still top from Andy Dorman, Andy Carroll in third. The race format, by the way, 2 30-minute races, and we do a very mini thing. We're going to reverse the top 10 from race 1 to give us a reverse grid for race 2. So just the top 10 reverse, barring any glitches in the software. And Redgate will therefore be interesting with reverse grids. But if we tell the drivers it's not a live ITV Sunday, they should be calm enough to deal with that, I would imagine.
These are mix of sim races and proper racing drivers, and we all know we get excited for that reverse grid race. It's for our favourite race of the weekend, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of drivers wanting to make their statements in the championship nice and early on.
I think you're right. As we switch to Paul Laramie, I had a quick look at Harry Hickton, who's running in 6th place at the moment, just down behind James Black. But here is Paul Laramie, another one of our front runners, doing well in the World Endurance League. Is Paul? I thought I'd written down where he was in the championship, but I haven't. So slap on the wrist for me for not doing the appropriate notes. I've got to shout out last week's co-commentator in the World Endurance League was Chase Fernandez, and he'd got championship points tables. He'd researched what the guys had done before, and an absolutely mega job for Chase. He's not with us this weekend in F4 at the British Grand Prix. He told us last week, "Oh yeah, I can't do that. I'm on holiday." He's gone to the States on holiday, and they've got him a driving Formula Junior out in the States. So we wish Chase Fernandez well, and means that we've got to keep an eye on how timings go there, as well as the F4s at the Grand Prix this weekend. F4s, of course, our Formula on the Toka package, our fellow Formula on the Toka package, but with an extra race this weekend. As we look at Mackenzie Taylor, missing Mackenzie from the real grid, but doing a good job at the moment inside the top 10, ninth position, chasing Kenny Press, as Will Crooks just manages to go in front of him. There is Kenny Press busy trying to close down timing wise on Harry Hickton at the moment. 1:37 on qualifying left to do, and Thomas Potter now down into P2 because Andy Carroll has managed to bag provisional pole at the moment. So Andy Carroll up on provisional pole with a 1:14.023. So they're not into the Andy Carroll stroke Jack Smith previous session cars. We've got somebody having a little bit of an off in the background, which is not too good, as we stay with Andy. And this could be what he needs to get the campaign underway. Andy Carroll, pole position. How important is pole here at Donington, and indeed anywhere, Dan?
I mean, it's everybody wants the pole position to start the year. I don't know what some of these drivers will be like coming off pole. I'm sure Andy Carroll, who's been racing in the sim world for quite a while, will probably be very cool starting from pole. But I mean, right now, I don't know if we can call it almost just over a tenth between the top four. How good is that for the first round? But yeah, I mean, pole position here is definitely going to be helpful. But Donington is a nice wide circuit, and it's a very flowing circuit as well. So if you find yourself defending against a driver going into one corner, it can quite easily mean you come under attack coming into the next one. So yeah, I think as long as you're in that in that top bracket of 4 or 5 cars, yeah, I think it could be anybody's win to take.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And it's a decent circuit again to start off with, isn't it? The Donington National, replicating what we had. At least we're not flooded out as we were 2 years ago. This year was fine. We've actually had some decent weather this year. They keep threatening that we're going to get rained on at some point as we join Thomas Potter, the northeastern lad. He will be, I think, coming to Croft in a few weeks' time to spectate with his family, which is good. Shame not to see his sister Catherine joining us for this one, but she does race in the World Endurance League. And it's also a quick regular and getting better and better is Catherine as well, as Thomas comes down trying to nab pole position last doors.
He is a 10th up.
Yeah, I was right across the grass there, wasn't he, on the exit of the chicane. So Andy Carroll and Thomas Potter on the last lap does it. So we'll find out whether he did track limits or not there, but he was very determined, Dan, and that's the time I guess you want to do it, isn't it? Get everyone else, sell everyone else a dummy, and come in and grab that pole position.
Yeah, definitely. But Andy Carroll is gutted, bless him. But you cannot doubt Thomas Potter's commitment there through the last chicane. He put everything on the table there. That was a win it or bin it last corner, and yeah, did it in style.
He did do it in style. Top of our mini drivers, real world mini drivers, Alex Solly in 4th, as Dan said, not very far behind at all. Then James Black and Harry Hickton. So we've got 3 real world drivers altogether wrapping up our top 6. 7th was Kenny Press. 8th, Will Crooks from Will Clark in 9th. Then Mac Taylor in 10th from Paul Laramie, William Yap, Kevin Yap, the 2 Yaps tied together. Callum Einstone next up from Jack McCall. Well done, Jack, 15th on his debut with us. Chris McKenzie from the JCW Sport category, 16th, and also leading City Car Cup driver. Alex Walker was next, and we're going to take a quick break, but we'll have our qualifying podium interviews for you in just a minute. Well done to all of our drivers on successfully completing the qualifying session. And we're going to do our top 3 interviews, starting with P3 on the grid, so inside of row 2. Welcome back to VRRC, Andy Dorman. It's been a while, Andy. How are you?
Yeah, it's been quite a while, hasn't it, since I've been back on the grid?
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's not a bad start, is it?
When did we last see you? Was it BMW Championship?
It's been that long, I can't remember the last time I was in my sim rig before we got onto this.
And you picked the hottest day of the year to rejoin us?
It's not too bad up in the north today. It's cooled off a bit from yesterday.
Right, all right, that's pretty good. Did you do much? Have you done much practice for this series?
Yeah, I've been doing quite a lot to try and get my eye back in, and it seems to be working up to now.
And have you kept your eye on the other championships? We'll ask both, actually. Have you kept your eye on the Real World Mini Championships as well as the VRRC competitions that have been going on?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them when I can. I've been away racing a few times down at Snetterton. We've been running a Civic down there, so...
Oh, wow.
It's been quite eventful so far this year.
Tell us a bit about that. What mods and so on have you got on that?
It's a 1.6 single overhead cam Civic running on pure methanol and running about 1,000 horsepower.
Wow, that's a bit crazy.
It's very crazy. One of the lads that we raced with's just beaten the Ford world record for the front wheel drives as well in an Escort van.
Fantastic. How many meetings do you get at Santa Pod a year? I mean, is it a regular? There must be other venues. I know I've seen a couple of other venues that you can go and do the strip. But how often do you get out?
We aim to get out about 5 or 6 times a year.
Yeah.
and Santapod's the only one we really go to because it's sort of the best track in Europe.
Yeah.
Running the sort of power levels these cars are running, the track prep's vital to get them to get down the strip basically.
Okay. So we can expect you to be good off the start.
I hope so, but I'm not driving the one at Snetterton, so hopefully we can get it off the line.
Fingers crossed. Andy, welcome back. Congratulations on getting up in the top 3, and hopefully we'll have a chat with you a bit later on.
Yep, perfect. Thanks a lot.
Well done. It's Andy Dorman as third on the grid for our first race of the competition. And second position, a driver I've been getting to talk to a fair bit over recent weeks. There was a little bit of a lull, but then he's been banging in the podiums, both in qualifying and the races. And it's Andy Carroll. So well done, Andy. That's a good start to the mini campaign.
Yeah, very pleased with that. Always nice to be up near the front, first round out.
So are you? I was asking the question during the qualifier. Are you a front-wheel drive guy or a rear-wheel drive car, or I don't really care?
I think I'm a front-wheel drive guy. I can't deny it. Yeah, definitely. This is kind of, my ideal car. You have to drive it right on the nose. It just suits my driving style completely. So
you've got a bit of vein of form at the moment because obviously you're running P2 in the World Endurance League as well, which is totally different to this.
yes, very different, and I think I've got to P2 in a very different route than I'm hoping to take in this one. I'm not expecting, I'm not expecting the rest of the field to come to me in the minis, which is kind of in the endurance league. So I tend to try and sort of let the race come to me. But I think in these you've just got to go and try and grab it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. What for you is the key to a good lap on Donington National?
Oh, in these cars, you just cannot get any sort of spinning of the fronts. As soon as you sort of put too much steering input in, and the fronts start to complain about it, then that's when your lap time disappears. So you just got to try and be as smooth and as sort of gentle with the steering as you can be, and that's where you tend to get the lap time from.
I'm guessing in this one you've got some drivers that you've not raced on the sim before, like Alex, Solly, James Batt, Harry Hickton, are of course really well known in the real world, and I don't like using the word star, but they are very much people you'll be looking to see what they do. Is it a different experience racing with people you don't know on the sim?
I think certainly at the beginning it is. You're not quite sure, what their driving style is, how aggressive they are. So when you're around them in traffic or when you're going into corners sort of close to them, it probably takes a few rounds to figure out, who you can trust, who you can who you have to be wary of, sort of throwing it up the inside and stuff. So I think that's gonna be obviously raced Tom a lot, raced Andy a lot in the past as well, so kind of have a fair idea of what to expect from them. But obviously there's some of the new names. I think it's just a question of sort of keeping your wits about you until you figure out what to expect.
Okay, we'll look forward to seeing how that pans out during the race. Well done, Andy Carroll, our P2.
Thank you.
Well done. I'll probably be talking to Andy again tomorrow night. He'll be sick of me by the end of the week if he isn't already. Our pole position man though, congratulations Thomas Potter. How are you this evening?
Well, absolutely incredible now.
What was that track limits? You definitely had a couple of wheels on the grass in the chicane from where I was looking.
Well, as long as I kept the two tyres on the road, I was still in track from what is past the white line extended by the curb, which is my understanding. So for me, it's in track limits. But even if not, my second fastest lap is still enough for second. So
that's good. It's a good answer. We like putting you under a bit of interview pressure as well from time to time, just to see how you cope with that. We've got another youngster on the grid with us today. So I'm Jack McCall, who's an engineer with the Manpower Motorsport team in the mini paddock, which is good. Having his first VRRC race. Have you got any advice for Jack being similar age?
Well, I don't think some people might want my advice. Because my advice is, well, go for the move. if it doesn't work, then I'll let them back pass with his contact. But then if it does work, you've other players. My advice is just send it. But for him, depending on his driving style, take it steady at first, and then hopefully, well, as you let the other drivers break on points, you can pick them off one by one.
Top 10 would be a good aim, wouldn't it, for the reverse grid? So we'll see how Jack can deal with getting that. But you've got pole, which is a great start. I'm sure I've got my dates wrong. I thought you were in France this week, or is it from tomorrow?
I think I got my dates wrong.
Ah!
I've actually got it wrong. I was messaging Rich. I got it wrong twice. So it'll be the third round I'll be missing, which is well, I don't really mind because I love Donny. So at least I'm not missing the first round.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well, we're glad that you're here, and it sort of sets the stall out. Thomas will say well done again on pole position, and we'll let you get ready for the race as we've got a minute.
Thanks very quickly. Could I say a massive thanks to all my partners, especially Kate and Mimosa for supplying me with the stuff and U-Fiber for it in there. But a special thanks to Chris for coming down and Huey for helping me with my data. But it's my nan's birthday today, so happy birthday to you. Let's hope I can get a win in the race one for you as well.
Yeah, happy birthday to Potter Nan. If it's that side of the family, I'm not sure which side of the family, but well done, Thomas. Well done on that, and good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Thomas Potter, I had to have a little dig about the go on the grass, and interesting to see he handled it very well, which is great. As we look forward to race one, thoughts as we head to the grid, Dan?
Oh well, I don't think I can call it right now, but must just quickly say, I'm massively impressed with Thomas Potter at 13 to, not only be able to drive like that, but also do an interview as well, and not forget to thank to his partners and remember his nan's birthday. So absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I know how well Andy Carroll can race, and and Andy Dorman as well from my days. So it's difficult to call, but being a racer myself, I'm going to back my my JCW mates and Alex Solly, Harry Hickton. Let's see some classic JCW moves in this one.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. That's what we're looking for as the lighting sequence is about to complete here at Donington Park, and we are racing the Virtual Reality Racing Club Mini Challenge UK, and they head down to Redgate for the first time. Thomas Potter on pole, it's Andy Carroll in P2, and that's the way they go into Redgate. It's a bun fight for third place as Alex Solly looks around the outside looking to make a little bit of ground. So Solly doing a grand job in actual fact to do that. So it's Potter who leads down through the Craner curves for the first time with Andy Carroll next up. Then Andy Dorman. We've got well, a couple of cars going off into the gravel. Won't be able to spot them. They are going down. I think Will Crooks is one of the cars dropping down the order very quickly. So disappointment for Will, but he'll have the opportunity to come back and maybe head for a top 10. But it's Potter, Carroll, Dorman, James Black, Alex Solly in 5th place, Harry Hickton in 6th on the opening lap. That wasn't actually too frenetic really for a turn 1.
No, we saw some grass being picked up and a few ones going a little bit wayward, but yeah, this is proper mini challenge racing, and James Black's made a fantastic start, getting straight up to P4. He's not hanging about, and let's see if James Black and Alex Solly, friends of mine when we're working in the Cooper paddock. Let's see. Actually, no, they've gone for the battle, and Alex Solly's gone straight up the inside of the chicane. No messing about. Nice bit of curb there, getting onto 2 wheels. Oh, this is going to go straight onto Redgate.
It is, yeah, cracking. Oh, and Jerome goes James Black. That's a shame. James Black will drop down the order. He's down 11th, 13th place. Let's see what the recovery can be like. Might be able to get into the top 10 and maybe benefit from that reverse for race 2. But Alex Solly there is 4th. As now, what our viewers don't get to hear is the driver briefing. But anytime there's contact, if you've got the timing screen open, you'll see that contact gets reported on there. Chris McKenzie involved with one, Mackenzie Taylor another one as well. That gets reported to the clerk of the course, and they will look at that. And we do have judicials like we do in the real world racing, and if it's anyone's fault, there'll be time penalties and so on. So there will be a provisional result, and then an official result. Probably, I think Thursday is when we get the official results through, if there are any issues that go through. We ride with Chris McKenzie, who's got up into the top 10. This is a useful place for Chris to be. Dan, he is one of our JCW sport racers. Also, as I mentioned, in the City Car Cup, which he is an outright race winner in. He had his first class win in the JCW Sports last time out. And Chris is very much a driver on the ascendant.
Yes, definitely. We're seeing constant improvement from him in the JCW Sports, and yeah, he knows how to race these cars. And as you can see, he's getting stuck in. Ran a little bit wide there on the exit of chicane, but he's got that Bitcoin racing car straight back onto circuit. And yeah, I'm sure he's going to start hunting down these two just in front.
I tell you, it's a fascinating battle we've got down sort of 8th, 9th, 10th position. Paul Laramie there in the burgundy and green car, running in 9th place, in 8th place, beg your pardon. Chris McKenzie 9th. And Callum Iceman Einston, if I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm not. Message me if I'm getting that wrong. He is in 10th at the moment. Alex Walker 11th, then Kenny Press. So all of those drivers on the bubble of getting the reverse grid pole for race 2. And with the amount of fighting that we're getting behind, it could be absolutely crucial to get that and get some decent championship points.
Yeah, definitely.
in
We've
race
just
2.
seen a mega move from Mackenzie Taylor to get to the front of that pack. He's qualified a little bit further down. He was actually texting me earlier asking for a little bit of car setup help, considering I haven't been sim racing for very long. But the couple of changes we may have spoken about seem to be working for him. Up to P6 now, doing a great job.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? So see how that develops for him. This half-hour race, no stops as we have in World Endurance League, but there are options, tyre options. So if you have an issue, I'm guessing a driver might want to maybe come in and, if they're in the second half of the race and have an issue, could probably come in and stop and change to softs to maybe get some quicker laps. But otherwise, everybody on the medium tyre, we're not expecting any stops in, no compulsory stops or anything like that in the mix for this one, as Thomas Potter continues to lead. And we're looking at the group headed by Paul Laramie at the moment. Callum Einstein's going to go up the inside and go through very neatly. There was a gap there, but Callum makes a very neat move there to go up into 9th place. And ideally, you don't really want to be in 10th because you're kind of on the bubble for the reverse. So you need to be 8th or 9th, maybe, just to be safely towards the front of race 2. But there is Callum, who's actually going a little bit wide as well. We'll see whether Paul Laramie can make the most of that. Paul is looking around the outside, which will convert for the inside as they go up into McLean's.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight. There's 2 or 3 of them in a very close bunch, but he's got the inside for the right, and he's got the move done. And now he's going to come under pressure as well from the guy in the orange car. Is that? I'm trying to work out who that is. I'm still got my spotter up, try and work out where everybody is. Can't keep up with this. It's absolutely mega.
Yeah, some good racing going on, and so right the way down the order as well, with Thomas Potter still out front. Best lap of the race so far is Thomas, the Flying Teapot, with a 1:15.104. And beg your pardon, Andy Dorman's done a 1:14. So Andy Dorman fastest on track at the moment. This is his last lap. I'm looking at last lap instead of best lap, so typical mistakes there. From the commentator as they go down the Wheatcross straight heading towards Redgate Corner again, and this Laramie Einstein Will Clark battle, and off goes Paul Laramie. That's Paul Laramie kissing goodbye to the chance of a reverse grid pole position. Paul down in 15th place now. And he's going to be dicing with James Black, who's trying to work his way back. So, yeah, disappointment for him as we go to the battling JCW stars now. Harry Hickton and Alex Solly side by side. Hickton looking on the inside. Solly comes across the outside to, I was going to say grab the line there, but that's more about momentum on the outside line, but they're still side by side. And Hickton better on the brakes and gets the move complete there and takes the position. Harry Hickton, head of Alex Solly, up into 4th place.
Oh, absolutely mega racing there, just like JW's in real life. Nice and clean, racing room on exit. Luke Caudle would be very proud of this moment. And they are still battling as they come down to the chicane as well. Absolutely mega, and I don't think this is over yet. Harry had a little bit of a tighter line there. Let's see if Alex Solly can attack going into Redgate.
Harry Hickton, of course, running with, we mentioned the youngster racing for Manpower, and Harry Hickton races with the Manpower team in real life, having their JCW debut season, which is great, having been a mainstay of the trophy for a good few seasons. And Alex Solly with the Napa racing car. We're going to see a Napa attack go on here. He's in 5th place at the moment. Mackenzie Taylor running strongly in 6th place down behind them. Then Will Yap, Chris McKenzie 8th from Kenny Press, Callum Einstone in 10th place. But Harry Hickton, would you want at this point, Dan, to be working together to try and close up on Andy Dorman in 3rd place? I mean, Andy's down the road, isn't he? But, you know, if you work together, is there the chance to catch up?
Yeah, well, you can see that these three guys at the front just haven't, battled too much. They've just got their heads down, and they've been able to pull this massive 4-second gap. So, yeah, I think if I was Harry Hickton, I'd be hoping that Alex Solly's on the same hymn sheet and thinking of getting their head down and try and push to catch them. But 4-second gap is going to be tough to get that shorter unless these three guys at the front start battling. So, yeah, I know I'm going to be hoping for these three to battle and try and make it a 5-car battle for the win. But no, it seems like they are struggling to keep close to Potter at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job out there in P1.
He is. I don't know how long the tyres are going to last. It's not something we've managed to talk to the drivers about thus far, but we've still got 22 minutes to go, so we're not even at the halfway stage. And of course, if the gap has developed in less than half the race, then technically it means that gap could come down over the remaining 20 minutes or so that we've got to look forward to. But it is Thomas Potter out front from Andy Carroll. Andy Dorman in third. Andy looking very sharp on his return to VRRC racing and not quite close enough to put Andy Carroll under pressure at the moment. He'll be aware, I'm guessing, at that distance, but he's not Andy Carroll, not really under any massive pressure just now.
No, but it's a great position for Dorman to be in. He's been away for a little while, and yeah, this is probably a good time for him just to watch how Potter and Carroll are racing. Try and pick up any bits where he's losing time, and might decide to start pushing the car's limits a little bit more towards the end and put on an attack. And remember, with the reverse grid race later on, he'll be in front of these guys if it stays in the order it currently is. So yeah, it could all change in the second race later today.
Yeah, it could well do, and is a little bit of luck involved, shall we say, in race 2. And it was interesting hearing what Andy Carroll was saying about it from the GT point of view. He's not so cut and thrust in that. He likes to let the race come to him a little bit. And I think there has to be an element of that in the reverse grid racing. You've got to look forward. You've got to try and move forward. But also, if the seas don't open for you, if they don't part for you, you're not going to make that progress. So sometimes to get into the top slot, you do have to have the opportunities come to you a little bit.
Yes, definitely. These reverse grid races, it's important to try and make as many moves as you can at the start, but it's also about just thinking about the risk involved. If these three guys can stay on the podium in this race and they can come away with a top 6 result in race 2, then that's gonna be great for the championship. And this is a championship. There's 7 weekends or 7 weeknights of this, to get points. So yeah, I'm sure we won't see too many risks from these three guys at the front this weekend, because they're putting on a stellar performance and look like they're going to be the ones to watch for the rest of the year. Yeah,
for Thomas, of course, he has got this away day to France with the school, and so he's going to have to, that'll be his drop round, but he can't really afford to have too much go wrong at any point. So he's setting out his stall nice and early here. But yeah, for me, this is still very much alive at the moment with these three. Harry Hickton and Alex Solly still 4th and 5th, not that far behind. And I'm wondering whether Andy Carroll will maybe just get a little bit more out of the car later stages. Certainly in the endurance racing, we've seen him maybe come on a little bit stronger towards the end of the race. Thomas, I'm guessing, as a 13-year-old, might not be as physically fit, which you have to be for sim racing, don't you?
Yes, definitely, and especially in this heat as well. I mean, I'm just sitting here doing the commentating, and it's rather warm in my room right now. So I bet that them guys have definitely got a bit of a sweat on right now. If any of them got aircon, they are definitely an advantage today. But I've just been looking at some of the timings, and Andy Carroll has set a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2. He has reduced that gap by about 3/10 that lap, within 7/10 of a second now to the leader. So yeah, this race isn't done yet. It's only just starting.
Yeah, it's just fantastic stuff. We're not even at the halfway point yet as we go back to the scrap for 4th position. Both of these lads really working hard. Harry Hickton in 4th place and Alex Solly trying to hunt him down. Mackenzie Taylor a little bit lonely back in 6th place at the moment. Will Yap is 7th, so a good debut for the VRRC with William Yap in the AR UK or Arik car. Not sure how we say that. Again, we'll have to take advice on that as the 7-night series goes. I was saying before we went to air that it's taken me the best part of a year to, and I'm still saying weekend when we get into these midweek races, and then I say Wednesday because we normally race Wednesdays, and now it's Tuesday, so I've got to try and get used to that as we ride with Andy Dorman, who's not being left either. We did see that Andy Carroll was, as Dan said, setting purples But Andy Dorman's not being left here either.
No, definitely. It's all starting to squeeze up a little bit at the front, isn't it? So I think, Potter's going to start coming under some pressure soon, and they're so close together. Any little mistake, and someone's going to take advantage of that. So it looks even though like he's going a little bit right on the straights as well to try and break that toe. So yeah, these might be mainly sim racers and 13-year-olds, but yeah, they know how to race. This is mega.
How do you keep your concentration? Because I know from watching my son doing a little bit of sim racing, I know obviously from watching the guys when you're going over onboard footage, you've got to be so consistent for such a long time in these races. How do you keep the concentration going?
Yeah, it is so difficult. You just try and get into that zone. And when you've got yourself a 6, 7 tenth gap like Pot's got at the moment, you are trying not to look in your mirrors at any point. You are just trying to pretend every lap is a qualifying lap, and so far he is doing just that. He's in every single apex. I'm not seeing any scary sideways moves, and yeah, he's treating everyone as a quali lap, and he's just keeping that gap just big enough so he doesn't come under attack from Andy Carroll.
He did well with the interview, and when I sort of picked and said, "What's that track limits?" and he said, "No, well, I'd have been P2 anyway, so he'd have been up the front." And it was a really good answer, and it's interesting to to throw. And I'm lucky with Thomas that I can throw that sort of question at him, and he knows that I'm not being picky or argumentative, and he'll have to have questions like that thrown at him in the real world when he gets on track. We won't say what junior series that he's aiming for next year. There will be an announcement in due course. I think many of us know what that is, but we don't want to steal the thunder of the Potter team for when the announcement is made. But watching this, it's whatever he does, I think will be a good move, and a lot of people are going to be watching him.
Yes, definitely. You've got two very experienced sim racers behind, and they are starting to get a little bit closer to each other now. So I bet Thomas Potter is just doing these laps and just praying that Andy Dorman makes a move on Andy Carroll, just so he can get a little bit more of a gap. We've now changed another view to see another battle going on track. That Chris McKenzie, I believe, and yeah, this one's for what position is this one for?
It's for 8th.
8th, so very important for the reverse grid as well. So yeah, we've got sim racer versus real racer. So yeah, let's see how this one comes out.
I was really chuffed to see every time somebody announced from the real world they were coming in. I was really chuffed to see that. And Chris McKenzie was one of the first people to come in and do it, which was really good and doing a good job here. Kenny Press now up ahead of him though. So Kenny in 8th, Chris in 9th. Will Clark is on for provisional pole on the reverse grid from Will Crooks in 11th. Callum Einstein next from Kevin Yap, running well. Will Yap in 7th. As we go back to Andy Dorman and Andy Carroll, Thomas Potter takes the high, wide and handsome line in, and we definitely are getting this challenge on now for P2. And as you said, Dan, this is exactly what Thomas Potter wants to see, and we can see from the virtual drone that gap's beginning to open up now.
Yeah, this is mega, isn't it? I think we should speak to ITV about getting a drone to give us this view on the touring car weekends. This is absolutely mega. So yeah, they're starting to come under a little bit of pressure, and you can see, Andy Dorman is really trying now to get that gap smaller, running a little bit of track limits there at the old hairpin. But yeah, go on, Andy Dorman, make a proper JCW move. We're waiting for it down at the chicane. Let's spice things up a bit.
Let's see if he can do it. I'm going to sidestep any suggestions about drones and ITV. I think it's a budgetary thing at the moment. They did do it last year, but I think it's an expensive add-on if the weather's bad that they can't then use. So it might be in for selected rounds. I know they've used the blimp, the Goodyear blimp as well, over the that was at Brands Hatch a couple of seasons ago. So I think it's something that they'll use when they're able to. But yeah, it does give a great shot here when you can see. I actually know one of the drone operators used to work with us on some club racing that we used to film. So it's funny how cameramen sort of use the advances in technology to sort of not further careers, but sort of are open to new ideas. As Andy Dorman is trying to open the door here to get into P2 with Andy Carroll still in 2nd, Thomas Potter still the race leader, still Harry Hickton and Alex Solly 4th and 5th. But the battle really here is this very determined one for P2, and Andy Carroll knows how to race with Andy Dorman. And I'll ask you the same question, Dan. When you've got a new driver, can it be that unnerving? And is it in your mind that you don't know how they're going to race?
Oh, definitely, yes. I mean, me stepping up to sport Porsche Sprint Challenge this year has been a big learning curve, and I'm racing against many drivers I haven't raced with before, and you always got that unknown of not knowing how they're going to act, and sometimes it's just you want to make the first move and put down your stamp that you're not here to be messed about. But just looking at this last lap, it seems like Dorman's pulled away, fallen back a little bit from Carroll, and Carroll's got to 5 tenths to Potter, so. Oh, it doesn't look like it's going to be the battle for 2 and 3. It looks like it could be the battle for 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, starting hot up.
Yeah, nice spot there, mate. And I just want to say it's great that we've got you in the Porsche Sprint Challenge, still on the Toka package, and being able to see you. A shame that I've lost you from minis because I don't get to commentate on you anymore, which is a shame. But on the other hand, I get to watch you race now, which is quite good. So enjoying the Porsche racing as ever, and we've got quite a few mini graduates actually moving into Porsche racing, and it's quite a step, isn't it?
Yes, it's been a massive step for me. I haven't raced rear-wheel drive since I was kind of 15 years old, and I'm now 27. So it's a long time ago.
Wow.
So I've been on the Toka package for a long time, and it's been a massive learning curve. And no, I'm enjoying the challenge, but I must say, and sorry about the pun, I do miss the mini challenge, and it's been brilliant to be involved in this and watch these drivers race these minis around Donington.
Will Crooks is trying to chase down Callum Einstein at the minute. Let's see whether he can get up towards. You can see the gap, but the car in front is the one who's chasing Will Clark for 10th place to get into that reverse grid section. Wherever they finish, there are useful points at play. Just seen Paul Laramie going through as well, down in 14th. We've not seen. We saw James Black pass, didn't we? Actually, he's a lap down at the moment after his issues earlier on, which is a big shame for James Black, but we'll see what he can do in the reverse grid race, albeit starting from the very back. It's a little bit of a downer for him as we go with Kenny Press and William Yap putting some pressure on Kenny Press at the moment, and this is for 7th and 8th place.
Yeah, it seems to be tightening up there for sure. So Kenny's been doing the sim racing for a while, so I'm sure he'll be wise to any moves might be making. But yeah, still got is it 10 minutes remaining on this race? So yeah, still time for lots to change. So yeah, let's see what happens. And it seems like this battle at the front of the pack seems to be hotting up. Less than 4 tenths between the top two now.
It is closing up, isn't it? So the initiative is with Andy Carroll, and he's chasing Thomas Potter. Is he close enough to make a move now as they come down into the Goddard's chicane? And the answer is no, he's not quite close enough to make the move yet, but they've got to keep piling the pressure on, putting in those laps as best they can, and then start to think about where they can make the move. I'm guessing from Andy Carroll's point of view, he's going to try and watch for a weak spot on the circuit with Thomas Potter. I've not spotted one. I'm guessing. I'm not a driver, so I probably wouldn't spot that. But you've said chicane may be the best place to make the pass. Have you seen any potential chinks in the armour of Thomas Potter?
Well, it seems like Potter is especially good through the last chicane, which just means he's not coming under any pressure going into turn one. But it seems like Carroll at the moment might just have a bit of advantage in this sector one, and then coming up this hill, 2 tenths quicker again in that first sector. So I can't, but you're right. I can't see Potter giving him too much of a gap right now, but you can see that he's starting to come under pressure now, running a little bit wide in the exit at McLean's. Yeah, I think Carroll's need to start putting his nose in a few places, right in his mirrors, and just try and unsettle him a little bit. I think it helped that Dorman kind of dropped off the back a little bit. It meant Carroll could stop looking in his mirrors and start looking ahead. And yeah, he's definitely getting close now to start looking for a move.
Well, this is where you're saying Thomas was quick, and he doesn't seem too concerned about getting overly defensive going into that chicane, and that is either brave or sensible in terms of getting the extra speed coming out of that corner as they head down towards Redgate again. 8 minutes and 33 remains. It's going to be a very long race for Thomas Potter. I've not seen him under this much pressure for this long, for a good long while, probably since he was coming through the VRRC ranks and getting to lead races by virtue of getting reverse grid poles. And that's what the other drivers have got to look for. I mentioned about if you're a new driver thinking of getting involved and thinking to yourself, you can't race to this standard. It doesn't matter. Get in, join us, start at the back of the grid, maybe get into a reverse grid situation and learn as Thomas has done and as his sister is doing with us and doing better and better. So Thomas had his first wins from the reverse grid races and now has the pace, the confidence to lead, defend and attack when he needs to do that off the front. He's sort of become a complete sim racer in less than a year. Absolutely remarkable progression we've seen from Thomas Potter. And now Andy Dorman trying to get on the case as well. But meanwhile, we're going to flip back down to the drivers battling it out for the 10th position. So Callum Einston there in 10th at the moment in the lime green car with Will Crooks trying to hunt him down as well. Will, one of our JCW Sport drivers, and Will getting stuck in here, doing a good job, but coming under a little bit of pressure as we go back to the battling, not for the lead this time, but for P2. So we flick back to P2, and Andy Dorman here's going to tee up the inside. Didn't quite have the momentum down to do that, but he's maintaining the pressure here. He's got a little bit of an overlap here. Is he going to be able to? He's not going to get through here, but very clearly giving notice that he wants P2.
Yeah, and once again, Andy Carroll's got really close to Potter and looked like he's about to make a move, and then, blink once, and Andy Dorman's back in his mirrors again, and Potter is rubbing his hands together while keeping in control of the car, of course, and watching these in the mirrors, and there goes around the outside. Is it going to work? Or they've given each other racing room. This is great to watch, but now unfortunately, Dorman's going to have the outside again for the long right. I don't think he's going to pull this one off, but can he get the cut back?
He's going for the cutback, as you suggested, and that was a real racer's read of that one from Dan Zelos, and he's on the inside now. He's Andy Dorman and should be able to tee up second position. Still with his nose in front is Andy Carroll. You can see how much Thomas Potter's developed the lead here. So they go down into the chicane, and Andy Carroll, knew that was job done. Has Andy got a problem? Did he miss a gear? He's dropped a lot further back than I would have expected.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll just having a little battle for the last of the late breakers, and I just wonder if possibly Andy Carroll just locked up a little bit there in that last phase. But clean racing by these two. I think they've got in their minds that it's a long championship. They also know that Potter will be missing a round, so that's going to be to their advantage. So yeah, very nice clean racing. And now let's see if Andy Dorman can start closing down Thomas Potter. He's got a nice gap after that last corner instant for Carroll, so he can now concentrate on maybe going for the win.
Yeah, great move for Andy Dorman. A great piece of racing with Andy Carroll, giving each other room. Very little in terms of rubbing or contact as we look at Kevin Yap going across the line in 11th place. So not that far away from 10th. And, again, making a big deal out of the reverse grid, but could be a really huge opportunity for Kevin or Callum here to grab that. And the positions have changed because we've very sadly lost Chris McKenzie. That was a few laps ago. I meant to say that. So Chris out of the race. Hopefully he'll be okay to rejoin us for race 2. So we'll have a battle with James Black in that one. Yeah,
I think it's going to be great. We're going to have James Black and Chris McKenzie starting from the back. Both real life drivers, both used to the mini shenanigans. So I'm sure they'll be getting their teeth stuck into that one, and it will definitely be a good one to watch to see how far they can make it up.
As this one's been a good one to watch as well, with Harry Hickton, who did the work early on to get in front of Alex Solly. We look back along the Wheatcross Straight to see Mackenzie Taylor back in 6th place, Kenny Press 7th, Will Yap is in 8th place, Will Clark 9th, and then it's Callum Einston at the moment in 10th place and holding on to that provisional pole position for race 2. 4 minutes 16 remaining on the clock. Thomas Potter still the driver out front, and with a best lap of 1:14.936 for Thomas Potter, 1:14.681 for Andy Dorman. Alex Solly though has got 1:15.023. So yeah, it's the race leader Thomas Potter with a 1:14. Not Andy Dorman fastest lap, beg your pardon, at the moment. As we go back to the scrap for 4th place. Harry Hickton still there ahead of Alex Solly. Wondering what Alex has got left in the tank to be able to perhaps close down and make a move with 3 minutes remaining on this one. But either way, decent opening round points in prospect for these two.
Yes, definitely. And, these guys are very, very used to battling each other on the real life circuit. I think I think they'll both be trying very hard to try and get one up on each other. Just to get each other warmed up for their next round, which will be at Croft. And I think Alex Solly definitely seems to have a little bit of an advantage right now. He seems like he's gained a little bit on that last lap. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch play out.
It's been fascinating to watch that we've got the JCW lads at the head of the real world drivers on the sim, and it's almost as if we've got that sort of two classes, with the trophy runners a little bit further back, and it's almost mimicking the levels that we have in real life as they go through. So Andy Dorman is definitely closing up on Thomas Potter and getting into that situation that Andy Carroll was in earlier on. They're going to negotiating a little bit of traffic here and there to have to deal with. And Thomas Potter, with 2:34 on the clock remaining, is now once again under a little bit of pressure. The pressure is beginning to mount here.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Andy Dorman gained 3 tenths on that last lap, and it looks like he's going to gain again on this lap as well. So, yeah, Potter's going to have to start looking in his mirrors very soon, and this might come right down to the very last lap.
It could well do that. Andy Dorman's already effected 1 pass, and Thomas has led from the start, of course. So Andy has got has he maybe taken out a little bit more out of his tyres? It'd be interesting to hear from the drivers what they feel about the tyre wear on the cars with the setup once we get to the interviews. Andy Carroll looks as if he's contenting himself with 3rd place at the moment. Harry Hickton and Solly still down behind. Mackenzie Taylor, give a shout out for him, still in 6th place as we look back from Thomas Potter. 1:45 remaining, and a great look back now. And here comes Andy Dorman. The pressure well and truly on now. He's right under the rear spoiler, grabs a bit of curb that unsettles the car a little bit, and he loses a couple of yards. But again, the faster of the 2 drivers in terms of what's been recorded so far will get the battle going again as they come out of Coppice and down the old exhibition straight down towards the chicane again. And that curb just threw Dorman off a little bit, didn't it? But he's not lost too much.
It definitely did, but he's still right behind. We're getting a bit in the tone. It looks like Potter's gone a little bit wide there as well. Now watching a great onboard shot. So let's see if Potter is a bit nervous going into turn 1. Nope, he doesn't defend. But Dorman just showing his nose in there, just so Potter knows he's there. A bit too far away from the move. Oh yeah, this is hotting up. But let's have a look in Dorman's mirror. Who's there? Andy Carroll. So this could quite easily go to any 3 of these drivers. So this is going to be a great last lap to watch.
Yeah, this has been a fascinating race to watch. The top 3 in qualifying, still the top 3 in the race. A slightly shuffled order as we go along Starkey's for, I think, the final time. We're into the last minute of the race now. And Andy Dorman's making a move. Looks for the inside as they go through Schwantz. That will convert to the outside as they come up to McLean's. And now we've got Andy Carroll coming in the mix as well. Dorman's going to try and tee up the inside. Thomas Potter leaves a gap and Dorman's through on the inside. Saw the gap there. Teed up the run through the corner as well. As they go into Coppice, he's got the lead. But watch for Carroll and Potter are going to fight back.
Yep, Potter is going to get the cut back now, and he's going to have the run coming down to the chicane, but Andy Carroll's there as well, and he's not shy. He's getting straight involved. He's going for the outside. It's going to be 3 wide now coming down the chicane. Oh, it's going to be tight.
Oh, there's contact as they go into the chicane. And again, that will be looked at, but it's Andy Dorman that comes out of it in front and will go across the line. Andy Dorman crosses the line and takes the flag. Thomas Potter in 2nd place. Andy Carroll in 3rd. Harry Hickton has got a little bit of a gap now, big gap in fact, over Alex Solly, who's still in 5th place. So something maybe happened to Alex Solly as Mackenzie Taylor comes through. And is it going to be Mackenzie Taylor? Oh, there is Alex Solly up ahead of him. So Solly finishes 5th. Mackenzie Taylor in 6th place from Kenny Press, who's done a great job. As good a driver as I've seen from Kenny for a while. In 7th place from Will Clark. Then it's going to be William Yap, who's done a very good job indeed to come through in 9th place. So Will Clark in 8th place, William Yap next up. And in 10th position and getting that provisional pole is Kevin Yap. So well done, Kevin, wrapping up our top 10 from Paul Laramie, who did a good recovery getting up towards the top 10. Callum Einstone having problems later on, dropping down to 12th from Jack McCall, who finishes ahead of Will Crooks, Alex Walker. James Black had issues earlier on, and we lost Chris McKenzie. And we'll have our interviews with the top 3 in just a moment after this break. So let's jump straight down to our virtual podium and say well done to the driver in third place. Well, it was a real cat and mouse race all the way through. And Andy, satisfied with third? Andy Carroll?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was, as you say, really tight the whole way through. Tried to sort of see if I could push Tom a little bit, see if he'd make a mistake, but he wasn't. Then when Andy got alongside, I thought I'd give him a chance to have a go at Tom. Was a bit worried that I'd left it a bit late and he wasn't going to catch him, but yeah, going into that last lap, I realised that oh yeah, this could be interesting. So yeah, just hoping for them to have some incidents, and then I could hopefully grab the win. But no, yeah, going into that last chicane on that last lap, it was kind of just trying to make sure it didn't result in absolute carnage for us all. So no, congrats to them both. They both drove really well. Andy had great race pace for most of that.
Congrats to you as well. It was a really good race, and you put, as you said, put Thomas under a bit of pressure. You were in a difficult position really for the majority of that, because you were the meet in the Sarnie, weren't you, between Thomas and Andy. So
didn't know which delta to keep an eye on. I wasn't sure if I was to keep an eye on Tom, the delta Tom, or the one to Andy behind me. And it was kind of for most of the race, it was kind of about the same between us all. So it was good, really good fun, good race, and let's hope more of the same.
Fingers crossed. So you were talking to us after qualifying and saying, you let the endurance races come to you. In some respects, obviously a reverse grid race when you find yourself in 8th, I think it's going to be off the start. Again, is it a case of, are you going to race these guys through the pack, or are you going to see how it opens up?
I think you've got to try and be, obviously because it's 30 minutes, you've got a little bit more, I think, of leeway to kind of try and be a bit patient the first couple of laps. But obviously, I don't want to let either of them get too far away. Too far behind would be fine, but too far away up front, and then it's obviously be a struggle to catch them. So I've got to keep an eye on them. But obviously, a lot of cars ahead now to try and get past, and the guys in sort of 4th and 5th in that race certainly weren't down on pace. So it's going to be a much tougher race, I think, this one.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We'll let you go and get a bit of a breather, Andy. So well done on P3, and we'll catch up with you a bit later on. Andy Carroll takes third place. Well done. And second position goes to Andy Dorman. So Andy, very, very close. A great move to get past Andy Carroll towards around about 2/3, 3/4 distance. So that was a nice move. And then we were wondering whether you'd have time to catch up with Thomas, but I think you got the fastest lap of the race as well. So had the pace. And I'm guessing Thomas probably hasn't raced you while he's been a front runner, fastest off the front, if that makes sense.
We've raced together a bit. I think we've had a good few battles over the last couple of years, I think.
Okay, I was just thinking in terms of, because he's sort of made that progression from, winning races from reverse grid positions, and he's had dices there. But maybe my memory's playing tricks. I don't remember him sort of qualifying off the front and racing you off the front as he just did there. But so that was very interesting to see the pair of you, and what a race to the flag, wasn't it? It was a mega job at the end.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure whether I was going to catch him, and it was take 3 going through the last chicane.
What were the tyres? Is the medium tyre, is there plenty in that? Did you feel that going off? Does pace go off towards the end of the half hour?
Yeah, it drops off in the last 10 minutes and starts deteriorating and getting worse. So played about with the brake balance a bit, and it helps.
Does driver fatigue play a part in that as well, in terms of lap times going off?
Yeah, I think a lot. I'm out of practice. I haven't been doing this 30-minute stints for a long time.
I'm going to have to go away and have a look and see which one it is. I haven't got all my notes with me, but I'll have a look. And you're not with us tomorrow night unless you do a quick entry into the World Endurance League, which would be good to see. But I think two evenings a week is probably a bit much. for that.
Yeah, it's
but,
race car night on a Wednesday.
race car. What's that?
The little Honda Civic.
A track
track
evening,
car.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or working on it.
Working on it. The engine's still in bits. We were supposed to be out this weekend, but the pistons haven't come from America yet.
Right. Yeah, you got to put the prep in. That's it's a balance, isn't it? I'm trying to do sim racing as well as working on a real life car. I don't quite know how people get the time to do it, to be perfectly honest. But great job, Andy. P2. I'm going to ask you as well. Prediction for the reverse grid race?
Hopefully, I can go forward a bit.
That's not a prediction. Where are you going to finish?
Well, I don't know. I've not been mid-pack for a while, so anything can happen. I think in this reverse grid race.
I think that's a fair answer. Well, so well done again, mate. Great race. Thank you for entertaining us, and good luck for race 2.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
That's Andy Dorman, our P2. Let's have a word with Thomas Potter. Thomas, I can't remember how long it is since you've had that kind of race with Andy Dorman. I'm thinking maybe BMW series for some reason, but can you remember?
I think it was BMW series. I thought I came second in that race. That's what I'm still confused about. But yeah, I think it was BMW series, which was the last race where we were really close. I think it might have been the touring cars as well.
Yeah, it could well have been that one. And I wanted to talk about the journey you've had with VRRC, which is, I mean, I've made a big thing about this, is that, your first wins and podiums were in reverse grid races, and then all of a sudden, bang, you're there at the sharp end, and dealing with it really well. I mean, you're under a lot of pressure there, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, I'm guessing, to lead a race and then have 2 different drivers putting you under that pressure.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, tell you what, I was like confused on which Andy I should be focusing on, because I just look at the names and see Andy, so I don't know which one's in front or not. But it was really good. I mean, Andy Cameron, Andy Dorman both had equal pace. I think the top 3 basically had equal pace, and my tyres, I pushed my tyres a bit early on at the start to get a gap, and came back to bump me in the end where they all caught up. So it's going to be really even coming into this reverse grid as well. I think it's just going to be whoever gets to the front first is probably going to get enough of a gap to hopefully drive off. But yet again, I feel like it's going to be a case of us two, whoever's in front, cutting the needle, threading the needle, and before others chasing behind.
It's going to be a big task, isn't it? Because there are some very quick drivers ahead of you in that reverse top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, pretty sure 4th and 5th we were getting the same times as those top 3, so it's going to be close. Just going to be about that opening lap mainly, and then the first 3 laps of the main ones really, just to get through the pack, and then about that, just keep them consistent, picking them off one by one.
We're going to let you go away and get ready for that, Thomas, because you've probably got a lot to sort yourself out. So well done on the win, and good luck for race 2, Thomas Potter.
Thanks for that. Quickly, you'll be able to announce, well, you already know, Ginetta Juniors next year. Now.
If you want to, yeah, mate.
Yeah, my dad's just came into the march to announce it, so I'm going Ginetta Juniors next year. So huge thanks to everyone who's going to be supporting that and helping me on. And VERTU Motors, which I'm going to see at Croft, and if you're at Croft, I'll come see you as well. Huge thanks for them to come in and help, and well, I can't wait for next year now.
Mega news. I mean, yeah, we've kept it under wraps, but congratulations on that, and I look forward to it. And don't forget, you can still enter the scholarship as well for the Ginetta Juniors. If you're doing, a lot of people say, oh well, we're not going to win the scholarship because we're already entered. That's absolute nonsense, because they've had lots of drivers that have won the Ginetta scholarship over the years that had already entered for the following year. So if any of you are watching this, have a go, whether you're championship or not. It's a wonderful competition, and I hope that we get to see a lot of people up at Blighton for that in whenever it is, in November, November, about half-term time, I think. Anyway, but Thomas, well done. Thanks for announcing your intention. You have to get a press release out now for the press for next week as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done, mate. We'll see you for race 2 in a moment. We've got less than 50 seconds to go. So the news broken today. There'll be a formal announcement at some point as well on social media, etc. And Ginetta will no doubt do that. But we are ready for our reverse grid race. Kevin Yap starts on pole position with Will Yap alongside, and then row 2, Kenny Press and Will Clark. Will Clark on the inside, Kenny Press on the outside, and this is going to be an interesting race because we've got the likes of Harry Hickton and Alex Solly back on the next one. We've got Mackenzie Taylor, who's behind Kenny Press, so it's Mackenzie Taylor, then Alex Solly, Harry Hickton, Andy Carroll, Andy Dorman, and 10th is Thomas Potter, with the rest of the field going behind. The lights are on. We're already getting ready to race here in the reverse grid at the moment, but I sometimes dread on VRRC the reverse grid race. Luckily, it's not a hairpin that they're going into first time, as we've had the last couple of rounds of the GTs, but a good start by the Yaps, who do very well indeed. Kevin, I think, dropped back to 4th place. It's Will Yap out front at the moment. Chris McKenzie has had a little bit of contact further back. It's Will Yap from Will Clark at the moment. Kenny Press is up into 3rd place, but decent enough start from everyone. And we've got, yep, just as I said it, Dan, off we go.
That looks like that's Alex Solly and Mackenzie Taylor, unfortunately. So 2 are real-life racers after having such a good race 1 as well. Yeah, backwards at Old Hairpin, so they've got a lot of time to make up now.
They have, but getting that out of the way early, the field's not too far away, so if they can effect a quick recovery, they might be able to get some damage limitation points in terms of the championship, which will be useful for them. So it's Yap from Clark Press. Andy Carroll has got up into 4th place. I was saying about, you know, do you wait for the seas to part? And seemingly that was the case. Andy Carroll up into 4th, already ahead of the likes of Harry Hickton. And James Black in 6th. James Black's had an absolutely mega opening lap.
Yeah, definitely, from near the back of the grid as well, and you know, he's just got past our number 1 and 2 from race 1, so he's not hanging about. I bet he's got the grip between his teeth after what happened in race 1. So yeah, let's see if he can put some pressure under Harry Hickton now. Yeah,
super stuff from Jay. Well done, mate. Great first lap. Sure, you're going to have a few opportunities open up for you over the course of the first lap and the first few corners with drivers going off, but the back to 6 is definitely not possible unless you've got some foresight to go through. Andy Dorman is down with him as well, as Kenny Press now goes up into P2. We're going to get a change for 3rd place, so Andy Carroll up into 3rd.
Yeah,
So
he's just picking them up one by one, isn't he? Waiting for the little mistakes, and he's making advantage of that. So, you know, Andy Carroll up into P3 already. Andy Dorman still down in P7, and Thomas Porter down in P9. So them two better get a move on, because Andy Carroll's going to be gone in the distance very, very shortly, I think.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, as you said, Thomas Potter down in 9th at the moment, and he'll just want to steady the ship, I guess, at this early stage. It's the excitement of announcing he's doing juniors for next year, I think. Has maybe got to him. Whereas Harry Hickton, he's in the mix as well in 5th place at the moment. So Andy Carroll busy challenging Kenny Press for P2. Let's see what he can do here. He's teeing up the inside run down the Wheatcross straight in towards Redgate. He's got the inside line. Will Yap is there as well. He's going to be 2 for the price of 1 here. And it is Andy Carroll who's going to go through. Wants to try and make sure that he can at least try and get the win in this one and make a claim for it very early on. But this is great stuff from Will Yap. Brilliant bit of fighting from Will Yap there, maintaining the lead. Super stuff, and gets a bit of contact from the back end. That will be looked at by the steward. Doesn't unsettle Will too much. He's lost a bit of momentum now and loses the lead as Andy Carroll goes through.
Here comes Harry Hickton as well. He's making the most of that little bump there, and now he's got himself into P2 as well. He's going to be 3 wide now, coming into McLean for 3rd place. This is going to be tight, boys. Keep it clean, keep it clean. Oh, a bit of wing mirror bashing there, but they've all come out the other end. And then James Black as well now, up the inside for P3. Mega racing.
James Black's done absolutely superbly. So too is Harry Hickton, who's got the lead now from Andy Carroll, who wants to fight back. This is what we want to see. Some real-world JCW drivers along with the esports drivers that we know and love, and it's Hickton who's got the line going down into the chicane leading this one. James Black in 3rd place. I'm going to give a massive shout out for Will Yap, who did a superb job until he got tagged on the end, and that unsettled him, but up to that point was defending the lead superbly, going down through Redgate and Hollywood as James Black looks around the outside of Harry Hickton for P2. So it's Andy Carroll now the race leader. Massive scrap on for 2nd position. Carroll making that claim for the lead. Will Yap still in 4th place, so let's not write him off yet. He's recovered so well from that knock that he had on the back. There he is in 4th place. Then we've got Andy Dorman coming up in 5th.
Yeah, he's got in a good move there. Old hairpin. Still side by side though with Will Clark. This isn't over yet. They're going to take it all the way up the hill, and now it's 3 of them, all battling for what is that, 5th, 6th place. I can't keep up this race. There is fights going on everywhere, but it seems like Andy Carroll has got a little bit of a gap now from Harry Hickton after he went a little bit deep into the chicane, and I'm sure Andy Carroll is going to get his head down and hope that them guys start battling behind. James Black seems to be putting one of the taps onto some good pressure here.
He is, yeah, James Black, as I say, absolutely mega job. And to come back as well, that's the kind of thing, we've got lots of things to weigh up and think about in terms of who will be our driver of the round. It isn't necessarily a race winner. It can be how someone's responded to an issue, as James Black has done, you know, having rotten luck in the first race, but really bouncing back superbly. Will Yap has bounced back as well and has got back into 3rd place. So it's Yap on the outside run, James Black in the Clive Empson car back up into 3rd place. So a good scrap between those two, but they're going to lose sight of 2nd position ahead of them if they carry on squabbling. And well, squabble they will do, because it's all about a podium. So very important stuff going on between the pair of them. Black's got the line at the moment, but loses out to Yap. Get a little bit of side-by-side contact, hip and shoulders, as Paul O'Neill would say. Will Clark is coming up as well. Down behind Will, it's Thomas Potter, who's got himself up into the top 6, about to convert that to P5 as the blue and white car of Thomas Potter goes past the yellow car of Will Clark. So Potter up into 5th. Oh, this is all settling down. Well, can I say settling down? Is it actually settling down? It's playing out nicely anyway.
Yes, definitely. So he just keeps chopping and changing, doesn't it? It seems like Potter listened to me after I said on the commentary that he hadn't had the best of starts. Suddenly he's battling now for P4, but he's side by side with James Black as they come down to the chicane. It looks like James Black's going to have the favourable inside, but yeah, with these guys racing, who knows what can happen. It's the last of the late breakers. James Black got it for now, right over those sausage curbs, and a little bit wide on the exit at Potter as well, which should just give enough of a gap for James Black not to have to over defend going into Redgate. And let's see if these guys can just settle it down a little bit, because if not, I'm sure Andy Carroll and Harry Hickton are laughing at the front, because they're getting a nice steady 3-second gap from these guys now.
They're getting away, and it's been absolutely fascinating to watch Thomas in this reverse grid race and working his way through, picking his way through. It's well, he's going to have plenty of this next year in Ginetta Junior, which, Dan, you know, I mean, you did a couple of seasons in Ginetta Junior. I mean, it's a top line international class, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You know, I was racing the same years as people like Lando Norris, who's, you know, now living it up after his win at the weekend in Formula One. So it's a great place to start. But you know, I'm very mindful. I don't want to get a slap from RIA, our championship organizer of Mini Challenge, and I must express how good the Mini Challenge Cooper Trophy is as well for these young drivers coming up. If you're not quite lucky enough to have quite as much budget as people like Lando Norris do, the Cooper Trophy is a great way to get into front wheel drive racing at a very young age. And drivers like James Black that we're watching now, doing a great job to showcase just how competitive that is.
The answer is we need a mini junior championship. That's what we actually need. I know
yes, definitely.
in the past, but wouldn't that be something that would be good? So will it happen? Fingers crossed. In some form, that would be great. Have it on the short ovals. You have mini stocks on the short ovals, but it is a difficult thing to get past NSUK, and rightly so, because you're talking about youngsters and trying to make sure that it's the best option for them. At the moment, Andy Carroll's still out front. Harry Hickton in P2, 1.3 seconds down. Will Yap's done so well. I'm going to be stretched here. I think as the whole team are, to try and pick a driver of the round. We're not quite at the halfway stage yet. This race actually seems to be, for me, the perception is this race is going quicker. The time has elapsed a lot quicker in these opening laps.
Yes, definitely. We saw quite big gaps between the packs at the start of the last race, but this one is quite different. You're talking about, you know, drivers of the round. We've got James Black coming from the back of the grid up into P4 now, and looking very quick. And then we've also got drivers like Andy Carroll starting P8, P1 after lap 2. Yeah, that's not too bad. Just how you want a reverse grid race to go.
So Thomas Potter with Alex Walker down behind him now. Great to see Alex up in the top 10 and putting pressure on our race one winner. Alex Walker races with us pretty much week in, week out. Has done some really good drives in the World Endurance League recently, and having a good run. I don't think was in the top 10, so he's got himself into the top 10 without being in the reverse grid part of it. Mackenzie Taylor down behind him, then Kenny Press. We didn't get Chris Mackenzie's come through up into 11th, so another good drive there. Chris Mackenzie's made great progress right from the back up into 11th, very nearly into top 10. Alex Solly after his off is in 12th. Callum Einstein 13th, then Paul Laramie. Jack McCall is ahead of Will Crooks and Kevin Yap, who is down in 17th position at the minute. But James Black coming under a little bit of pressure here from the likes of Andy Dorman. And let's see whether Andy can make a move past, grabs a little bit of curb. Meanwhile, James Black is having looked to try and get past Will Yap here. And this has been fascinating to watch Will Yap here, but leaves a little gap there. And here comes James Black, spots that, gets the cut back through on the inside, tees himself up nicely to get the place coming down the exhibition straight.
Yeah, James Black seems to be making making these moves left, right, and centre in this race. Another move from getting the cut back and then having the inside for the last chicane. But Will Yap's still there. He's still going to be under pressure coming into Redgate. And Andy Dorman now into P5. Seemed to have a bit of a slower start in race 1 as well. And then the pace came. And I wonder if this is he's just warming up to it. He's looking like he's having a look up the inside. And Will Yap has a little look as well. And James Black runs wide. So Will Yap's going to get the place back. And Andy Dorman's going to go, thank you, mate. I might just follow you through. But no, James Black shuts the door. 3 of them going nip and tuck down Craners. Flat out this bit is before he can down the old hairpin. Will anyone be ballsy enough to make the move at the inside? James Black's heard me. I think he had a little look. No, not quite. And now need to make sure he doesn't lose too much speed coming up the hill, because there you go, Andy Dorman thinking, I'll have some of that. Going to see if he can get the outside for this next one. And is he going to go for the cutback? Let's wait and see.
He's going to have a go for it. Meanwhile, James Black decides that he wants to have a go with the Alliance Racing car of Will Yap, who's done superbly, I've got to say. Great racing thus far. And James Black coming under pressure from Andy Dorman. We've got Will Clark down behind him. Thomas Potter trying to get in the mix as well with those runners. Alex Walker still behind. Thomas up into 6th now ahead of Will Clark. And we'll try and close down on Andy Dorman up ahead of him. Still Andy Carroll out front, 1.4 seconds to good over Harry Hickton, who could be on for a maiden podium here. Dare we say that too soon? We've got 18 minutes to go as we ride on board with Thomas Potter and Andy Dorman, who finished right behind him in race number 1, is going to be the target as they come down into Redgate. One of my favourite viewing points here at Donington is that, again, a clatter up ahead with Will Yap and James Black going side by side again. Andy Dorman's trying to go into the party as well. And here they come down through the Craner curves. Will Yap still there in P3. This is all about this last step on the podium at the moment. It's so important. Hickton and Carroll are away, P1 and P2, and this is, rightly where Steve, our director, is focusing on this 3rd place battle now. So Andy Dorman in 4th, and Andy's going to have a go at trying to get back onto the podium now, being chased by James Black.
Yeah, William Yap's doing a great job here. He's got Andy Dorman, who's no slack in his sim racing. James Black, real life racer, putting under so much pressure, but he's doing a great job. But Andy Dorman seems to have got run around the outside here, coming down to chicane. Not the place I'd probably want to be, but can he get the complete overlap done before the chicane? And James Black is right behind them both to say, I want to pick up any of these pieces. And here comes Potter straight up the inside of 2 of them into the last chicane. He loves getting a little bat on his last chicane, doesn't he? Then runs wide on the exit. You cannot call it out of any of these guys, can you? But I'll tell you who is going to be happy about this one, and this is Andy Dorman. He's like, you guys battle, I'll see you later. I'm going after leaders.
Yeah, Andy's managed to get that through. And Will Yap again in the Napa car doing a super job here of fending off James Black. Thomas Potter in the mix as well, and this is why we want the drone, just to see how they're all piling out. But yeah, Andy Dorman gets himself up onto a potential podium position and checking out again some side-by-side contact.
No.
Oh, we've lost Thomas Potter. Potter goes off into the gravel. Thomas will be disappointed with that one. It was going to be inevitable, Dan.
Something was always gonna happen, wasn't it? It was all kicking off, and out of nowhere we've got Mackenzie Taylor joining the party as well. He's got himself past Will Clark, and now he's getting stuck in the battle. Honestly, I don't think I can tell you who was in the front of this pack. About 5 seconds ago it changed so much. James Black now, look at that, cut back again through the right, so the inside of the chicane, and that might be overtake done, And Mackenzie Taylor is now going to have a go now. So I think, who's going to be in front of these lot out the chicane? I do not know.
No, I don't know either. So we're going to get a Mac attack as well as a Nap attack here in our mini racing as they bounce over the curbs, and Alex Walker about to be passed by Mackenzie Taylor. Mackenzie on the outside run, trying to get the momentum. Lovely shot in the rear view mirror that you can see there, and I think he's got the job done, Mackenzie Taylor. But there's going to be another challenge from Alex Walker to try and get him back. We're looking at James Black up front, the top 3, Carroll Hickson Hickton and Dorman 1, 2, 3 at the moment, with Will Yap in 4th place. It's shame we can't get a 4th place interview at the moment as well at the end of the evening, which is a pity. I'd like to interview all the drivers at some point. Maybe we could do a virtual grid walk or something for a future round, so we can bring different people into the mix, something that we can maybe think about as we continue our 7-week journey. But it's Taylor again coming under pressure here from Will Clark. It's Clark right behind him as well. Couldn't quite do it. You can see Clark being very respectful there of the car in front and just trying to pick his moment to have a look through. It's Alex Walker in 8th place, Kenny Press in 9th. Alex Solly has recovered and he's in the top 10, and Thomas Potter behind him. So Potter and Solly could well be worth a punt here as we watch the Yap and Black battle going on. Again, coming into the chicane, it's Black there at the moment from Will Yap. Both of these drivers have impressed me greatly over the course of the 2 races for different reasons, it's got to be said, Dan, and they're still fighting and fighting fairly at the moment.
Yep, James Black did his signature moves, I'm going to call it now, coming up into the last chicane, but just didn't quite get it stopped enough. And Will Yap's like, yep, okay, then let's go battle again then. These two are having an absolutely mega race, and I haven't seen such a wide mini challenge in my life, but I wonder if James Black has just got the move done now, Will Yap, and I wonder if they'll settle down now and pull away. But I must just say a testament to Mackenzie Taylor, was backwards at the old hairpin on lap 1. He's now in 6th place, and he's looking at the battle for P4 right ahead of him. Great job.
Yeah, you know, and another one that we probably need to be thinking about for driver of the round. It doesn't have to, as we said, come from the drivers on the podium. And I've got, it's going to be a very difficult ask to work out who is going to get DOTR for this one. But we will see. Carroll's still out front, not getting any coverage. That's the danger of, you must have been a victim of that a few times, running away with mini races and not getting any telly coverage.
Yes, a couple of times. Unfortunately for Carroll and Hickton, they're just in a little bit of no man's land at the moment, but they are still there. They're just probably watching their tyres, watching their pace, just treating everything as a qualifying lap, while these guys battle it out. If these guys keep battling any harder, I wouldn't be surprised if them guys come around to lap them at this rate, because they're just side by side absolutely everywhere. We're going into turn 1 now. Mackenzie Taylor looking up the inside and defending at the same time, and you've got Yap looking in his mirrors and looking forward to James Black. So yeah, I don't know how this one's going to turn out, but isn't that James Black's just got a little bit of a gap now to Yap? I wonder if he's going to try and get his head down now and just try and get a little bit of a gap there, so he can just start looking ahead to maybe Andy Dorman.
Yeah, it's a nice play, isn't it, on the Alliance Racing livery as well from Will Yap. Really nice livery, and nice to see different variances of that. P5 at the moment for Will. James Black in 4th. Yeah, not too much hope at the moment of closing down on Andy Dorman, who timed his move well and got away from that squabble. That's what you've really got to do, try and get away, as we see Mackenzie Taylor now coming under pressure from Will Clark. Alex Walker again in strong 8th place from Kenny Press and Alex Solly. Thomas Potter still down behind him, and Andy Carroll out front. Best lap of the race. We've got a couple of drivers in the 114s. That's Andy Carroll and Andy Dorman. So Dorman quicker than Harry Hickton in this one, but it's a good job from Harry Hickton here. If he can get a real world driver getting a podium against our regulars, he's going to be a good scout for him.
Yes, definitely. He just, he kept out of trouble at the start, and then he made the most of other drivers' mistakes. Him and Solly started side by side on the grid, and Alex Solly got in trouble on lap 1, and he's down in P10 trying to catch this pack up now, whilst Harry just had a nice quiet race, probably watching a few of Andy Carroll's lines ahead of him and just trying to concentrate on driving the track the best he can. So yeah, we're seeing Andy Dorman now completely in no man's land, probably a little bit too far off the two at the front to probably catch them. But this is just a perfect start for Carroll and Dorman for their championship.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be good points. I'm not going to try it and work out the points after this one. We'll have a look at the app probably before starting off to see how things go in terms of championship points. Well, we won't worry after round 1. I know with ITV. We did the highlights programme, and we were all sort of wondering why there weren't points on round 1, and we had the discussion, did we need them? I think you do when you've got 3 races, but here's some attention going on here. So Kenny Press looking back, we've got Will Clark all over the back of him, Alex Solly not that far as well. Alex Solly is not rallycross, is it? He's using a little bit too much grass there.
Yeah, hopefully Mr. Jonathan Palmer isn't watching right now. He'd be very upset about his grass getting mowed for sure. But these two battling, it's just, I was about to say, it's going to just entice Alex Ollie to get involved. But who's that? Back again. Thomas Potter is back in the fight.
It'd be good fun if we managed to get Jonathan along for a comment. I might see if we can do that.
I think it'd be very interesting watching some of these mini challenge drivers driving around right now. You can see some of his grass is already damaged there on the exit of the old hairpin. So yeah, the little driver off ahead.
Yeah, that was Alex Solly, wasn't it? So Alex in the Napa car having a little bit of an issue. I think Thomas Potter's got back ahead of him. Alex has rejoined. So it's Carol Hickton, Dorman, James Black in P4, Will Yap in 5th at the moment. So how long have we got? So I'll quick look at the clock. 9 minutes 45. Still got a third of the race to go. So still time for things to play out. Kenny Press in 9th, Thomas Potter 10th, Alex Solly 11th, Chris McKenzie in 12th. It's been a good recovery from Chris McKenzie here in this one after his issues in race number 1, technically a non-finish. Paul Laramie down behind him. When you think Paul Laramie's been challenging for wins in the Endurance League and he's down in 13th, it just shows how competitive this lineup is. Right the way down the grid, we've got drivers that I think at the very least podium capable.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, some of these drivers, if somebody goes wide there, are used to rear-wheel drive and then jumping into a front-wheel drive on the sim. I can tell you, it's just as hard as doing it in real life, like I have done recently. I'm just having a little look at the times actually, and it seems like Andy Dorman's probably fastest guy on track, a couple of tenths quicker than Harry Hickton ahead. But again, Harry Hickton's a couple of tenths quicker last lap than Andy Carroll, so he's only 2.3 behind Andy Carroll. So I don't know. This isn't over yet with 8 minutes to go.
It's not, and yeah, Dorman and Hickton, I think both putting in good performances at the moment for 3rd and 2nd ahead of James Black in that nicely settled 4th place now as we watch Alex Solly trying to get on terms with Thomas Potter. Oh, and gets a lovely drift on there by Alex Solly. Not what he wants to see, but you know, we love seeing that sort of stuff on track. That is how hard that Alex Solly's trying. Will Clark right behind him. And Solly podium pace in race number 1, but now outside the top 10 in this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go too well for Alex there, but you know, his front wheel drive experience, driving them in real life, he got his foot down flat on the floor and he was able to straighten out and back up again. But you know, it is difficult for these guys. Obviously, Thomas Porter was right at the front in the first race, but he's found it a little more difficult to come through. Some of these real life drivers putting up a mega fight, and we've now gone onto the battle. Mackenzie Taylor back on the back of Yap. So yes, this fight for P5 is not over, but I don't know who I want to finish ahead out of these two. They've both had absolutely mega races and definitely shouts for driver of the round.
Yeah, without a doubt here, Will Yap definitely one that we're considering. Lost a little bit of ground now over James Black, but Mackenzie Taylor has recovered well too. This is setting us up for a great few weeks ahead. And Dan, I know you were saying we might be able to get you as a guest driver in one of the rounds as well at some point.
Oh, well, I've just watched some of this racing that we've had today, and yes, this looks quite exciting to me.
You can say no then from it.
Maybe it's safer, yeah, because these guys look proper fast. Now I'm watching Mackenzie Taylor and Yap go at it again, coming down the chicane. Mackenzie Taylor's got the favourite inside line over the curbs, but now you're going to see Yap get probably a better exit and attack down to Redgate. This is proper JCW racing. This is just like in real life.
It is. It's a great championship. It's been such a welcome addition to the Toka paddock since the Clio's left us, and we've got to keep your ears and eyes open for developments over the next while. I'm not going to tell you what's going on, but Mini always looking to try and sort of up the game and improve things and keep the drivers and teams at the forefront of British motorsport, which is absolutely key. And as this battle continues, as I say, this, as Dan said, this is very much the sort of racing that we're getting to see on track with the JCWs and the Coopers. The last Cooper round again was absolutely mega. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Need to catch up actually on the Bark stream for over the weekend as Mackenzie Taylor looks down the inside, because you had 3 races over the weekend at Croft where you were coaching, of course, Dan, and Olivier Algeri taking a hat-trick.
Yes, no, he had a fantastic weekend. He was, you know, I mean, I'm working for Accelerate Motorsport those weekends, so it's a tough one to say, but he was just a step ahead of everybody that last weekend. He did an absolutely mega job, and yeah, I think I think there was some great racing at the weekend as well, and the Coopers always puts on a great show. And now they've got a bit of a summer break. They're not back out until Donington GP with the touring cars. So yeah, if you're bored on a Sunday, definitely tune into the Coopers. They put on some mega racing, and one driver that I hope will be out for that weekend is Mackenzie Taylor, who is, I think, still side by side with Yap racing for P5. They are not giving up on this one.
Thomas Potter's just managed to squeeze past Alex Walker, so it's Potter, Walker, Kenny Press down in behind as well. Get some great feedback on the driver of the round. So thanks everyone for Steve, our director, Rear Beauchamp as well, for feeding in. And still got a bit to go. It's a bit like match of the day, isn't it? They always have to decide the player of the match about 5 minutes before the end. Am I allowed to mention football? Some coach, you've got to be an Orange fan, haven't you?
Oh well, I don't know whether I should say this while I'm live on air, but I'm actually an Arsenal fan, so you might have just lost some viewers there, VRRC. I'm very sorry about that. But no, we don't mind a bit of football, but I do not think you can call the driver of the round with 5 minutes to go, because this race could go anywhere yet.
Yeah, it's a good point. So Kenny Press now coming under pressure from Alex Solly. Solly makes the move, goes through. He's going to set about now trying to close down on Alex Walker. So good stuff from Alex Solly. Again, not giving up. You know, there can be a tendency. I've seen it with a lot of drivers that can let despondency creep into their head when they've had issues. But Alex Solly, fair play to him. He's been bumped down the order, and all he's done is just set about trying to get up as high as he can. So it's been good recovery from him.
Yeah, definitely. Some great recovery drives. So, yeah, Kenny Press it seems to be hunting down that Napa car. Alex Solly just hasn't had the best of race twos today. And now we've flashed back to Yap once again trying to attack Mackenzie Taylor. Honestly, this Alliance car, it's definitely taking some notes from Ash Sutton in his Napa Racing Ford. He has made this car very wide this race, and he's not shy to put his nose in wherever he can see a little gap to attack Mackenzie Taylor.
Absolutely right. There isn't enough racing at the moment on the touring car package because we lost the juniors. There's been the day breathes a little bit too much. You just want racing at you all day, but everything that's there at the minute in the TOCA package is absolute quality. From watching the likes of Ash Sutton and Tom Ingram. I'm not sure we're allowed to mention Tom Ingram in terms of this championship yet, but there will be some Tom Ingram news coming up at some point. Right the way through, absolute quality racing, whether it's minis, whether it's F4, whether it's the guests. I mean, this year we had some great guests with Caterham, legends back with us at Croft as well in a few weeks' time, which we're looking forward to, as Will Clark. I mean, Will Clark's been a good star in this one. He's in 11th place with Paul Laramie down behind. We can't see Paul actually at the moment. So Clark having a go at Kenny Press. Kenny, the man who looks after our logo. So again, if you want to join the championship, Kenny will sort your logo out. Whatever you want, Kenny will sort it out, and your car will be represented on the screen. So if you've got a company that you want to get some nice screenshots, there we. Well, that's the curse of the commentator for you, isn't it?
Well, yeah, let's keep on his liveries, and I must give a shout out to him as well. He did a Davanti mini livery for me during COVID, and I still have that as my desktop background on my computer. It was that good. Nice. But I'm sure, he might be a little bit disappointed after he hit the wall quite hard then. So at least it's sim racing. I'm sure he'll get back going again.
People do graphics. I just take my hat off to you because I struggle with putting stuff like that together, but how he does it on these cars, I really don't know. And whatever people ask for, he does and delivers to a high standard. And the racing is to a high standard here as Yap is having a go at Taylor again. So Will Yap going for the wide line down into Redgate corner. Is he going to be able to go for the cutback here? He's going to have plenty of momentum, but I think that exit covered well there by Mackenzie Taylor. We've got Thomas Potter in 7th position, trying to close up on them, and the steam.
Oh, is he going to go for it? He's going to go for it. Oh, that down crane occurs. No fear from these guys. This is going to be a three-way battle very, very shortly. Thomas Potter is coming, and I think he'll have the grip between his teeth now after falling back a couple of times. But yeah, it could be any one of these guys. Anyone.
Yeah, here comes Potter. He's got some momentum there. Has a look, and again, does it safely, doesn't get into the back. Who was it had the contact on Will Yap? Was it Andy Carroll coming down the crane? It's in the early stages. I think it might have been Andy. Well,
I'm going to say, you're asking me. I can't remember what happened last lap. This has been so intense. Honestly, all I can see now is Mackenzie Taylor be looking behind and to say, Thomas, please just battle with Yap. Let me walk away with this for sure, because Yap can defend very, very well. And Thomas Potter's having a look again up into the chicane, but no, can't quite do it. Oh, these guys are so close. What have we got? Was it 1 lap, 2 laps remaining? Can we not just keep it going for another 20 minutes, please?
Yeah, that would be quite handy, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I'd totally forgotten the clock. That's how good a race it was. And we've got 30 seconds left, so I'm guessing this is probably the last lap of the race, unless our director tells us otherwise. And unlike touring cars, I can't look out of the commentary box window and look for the last lap board here, so we have to try and look. Dan, I think you nailed it. That's why you're here, mate. So thank you for that. As Taylor's done so well in this one. Yeah, I'm really struggling on driving around here, because it could be Mackenzie Taylor, it could be James Black, it could be Will Yap. We've had certainly plenty of good performances. Harry Hickson's done well. He's had 2 consistent runs. Andy Carroll's had 2 good runs as well. There is our race leader. Andy Carroll is going to cross the line now. He's actually got 11 seconds to go, so we've got 1 more lap to go. There is Harry Hickson.
Do you think they've ended up there?
Oh, I have. Okay, so it's actually got. Oh, we're over the clock, aren't we? Rather than under. I beg your pardon. So missed that. Great stuff from Neil, the commentator. Carroll takes the win. Harry Hickson in P2 from Andy Dorman. The clock had gone into minus. It'd probably be better if it switches off or stays at 0 for me. And James Black in 4th place from Mackenzie Taylor. Will Yap in 6th position will be, I think, next across the line is Mackenzie Taylor. Will Yap does 6th. Thomas Potter crosses the line in 7th place from Alex Solly. That's going to be Will Clark 9th. Alex Walker completes our top 10 from Paul Laramie. Kenny Press has recovered, and I think he's going to take off. There is Paul Laramie coming across the line now. And then it's Kenny Press from Jack McCall, who's had a good solid evening's racing as well. There is Jack, a couple of Catherine Mills on the side of the car in 13th place. Head of Chris McKenzie. Great that Chris got out for race 2. Callum Einstone next up from Kevin Yap in 16th place of Will Crooks with some issues, very sadly. There is Callum going across the line. So that completes our runners. We're going to go on to a quick ad break, and we will have our top 3 interviews and announce our driver of the race in just a minute or so. So on to our podium interviews. Many congratulations everybody on some great, really good entertaining first event for our VRRC mini challenge. Thanks to everybody for helping put that together, really great job. And let's start the podium interview. So 3rd place, well done Andy Dorman. Andy, that was a different complexion, wasn't it, to race 1?
Yeah, that was a bit more challenging than race 1.
And you timed that move into 3rd. I mean, you're probably going to say you timed it wrong, but because you were a little bit down on Harry and Andy Carroll, but in terms of that gaggle, you broke away at just the right time to get away from that back that were dicing over 3rd.
Yeah, it was quite difficult to get past them, to be fair. I'm just getting used to sort of having to overtake again.
And what was the opening lap like? Was it, did the sort of heavens open for you, or just gritty hard work?
Yeah, the heavens opened, and I was a bit cautious of getting taken out in the scenery, but we managed to make it through the first few laps pretty much unscathed, I think.
And does that set you up nicely? Are you with us the whole series, or have you got any rounds that you need to be away for?
I'm planning on doing the full series, I think. So hopefully we can keep up this sort of pace. See where we end up.
So what's your key takeaway from this evening, do you think?
I think I didn't get my head down earlier in the second race.
Oh, and that's pretty good going if you got a podium, I think, out of it as well. So that's good. So anyway, Andy, well done. It's been nice to catch up. We've had 3 interviews this evening, which I think is pretty good going. So points-wise, they've just updated on my screen, and by my reckoning, you're championship leader.
Oh, that's good news then.
96 points. Andy Carroll on 90. Harry Hickton third on 81. So yeah, decent start. So we'll say congratulations on a fine evening's racing. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yep, brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Nice one, Andy Dorman. Great to catch up with Andy again, one of our VRRC regulars of a couple of series ago, which is good. Great to have him back, and nice to get a podium interview with our second place driver. Thought he might be there in race number 1. He was just shy of the podium, but well done, Harry Hickton. How you doing, Harry?
Hi, Richard. You all right?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. Well done. Cracking drive.
Thank you.
Difficult I'm going to go back to race 1. Obviously, you and Alex had a really good ding-dong in race 1, and finally you got that settled. Was it about 2/3 of the way through, just over half of the way through? Managed to see him off. Did you know that you were going to have podium pace this evening?
To be honest, I wasn't really sure. I haven't really done a lot of practice. I sort of forgot I was doing this, to be honest, until a couple of days ago. So I got on about 4, half 4, and got a little bit of practice in. It was alright. I'm not, setting the world on fire with my pace, but I think I could run. I think I did transfer some of my skills from the real life racing and transferred it into this, and it paid off, and that's what I think helped me get my P2.
Oh, it's a decent result, and the fact is that okay, it's a reverse grid, but you were up at the sharp end in race 1 anyway, so it's not a bad evening for you.
It's good. I mean, it's at the end of the day, this is a championship in itself, and points make prizes. So, yeah, it's a really ideal start to this little championship. So, I'll have to see where it takes me. I'll have to see if I can do all the rounds. I mean, after this first round, I'm going to be hoping I can do all the rounds now. Now I know where I stand. So, I'm looking forward to getting stuck in a bit more now.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask, what was the plan? What is the plan at the moment? Is it just to do a few, or try and do the whole thing?
It's to do as much as I possibly can. I'm sure in the world of racing, things come up all the time, short notice. So as it stands, I can do the whole series. And that's what I'm going to be aiming to do, and just pick up as much points, try and get a win here and there if it's possible. The guys at the front are rapid. They are so fast. I don't really know what they're doing. I'll just try and pick up points, and then the reverse grid races, I think, is where I can, as I did there, pick up my strongest points of the race. So yeah.
So in terms of, like you say, you hadn't gone on the sim and done this. Do you use a sim to get yourself ready for the real world JCW races?
To be honest, not really. I do a bit, but not a lot. The thing is, in real life racing, everything is so fine. I mean, you're chasing tenths and hundredths, and but when it's that minuscule, it doesn't really translate in the sim as much. I mean, if I'm learning a brand new track, I was at Oulton Park last weekend. I'd never been there before on the Friday, so I did a bit of prep on there just to make sure I know where I'm going. But in terms of the tiny little temps that everyone's chasing, I think it's better off just to go straight into a race weekend real life. But I think this keeps you sharp as a real life driver. I think a main thing of it is racecraft as well. That's the biggest thing that is transferred from sim into real life. So I think I showed a little bit of that in that race, and helped me get from, I think I was 6th, 7th on the grid, and get up to P2 quite quick. So yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it was great to see it. Going back to Oulton Park, I think you got the fastest up in one of the races as well in the JCW, so the pace is there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the pace is definitely there. I need to put myself in the right place, right time. I'm still learning it, really. I didn't do a lot of testing at all pre-season, so I need to sort myself out a bit as well. I'm not going to deny it, because I'm always really quick in testing, and then I get to quali and I just mess it up, which I hold my hands up and say, it's not one of my strong points. As I showed in this, I think I was quite quick in the practice, and then I just couldn't get what I wanted in the qualifying. So yeah, I mean, it's story of my life basically. I guess it does translate from real life to sim, because quick in testing, not very good quality, and just climbing my way back up through during the races.
Good stuff. Well done on P2. Great that we got a real world driver up on the podium. So Harry, look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, which I think Snetterton 300 next week. So that'll be interesting. That's a long technical lap as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I like Snetterton in real life. I think it is my strongest circuit. So again, I'll have to see if I can translate it into the sim, and I think I'll just be aiming for a similar sort of day like this, where I'm just picking up the points and get a podium when the opportunity arises.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for having a chat. Well done on the podium, Harry Hickton, P2.
Thank you.
And we move on to our race winner. It's Andy Carroll, another third chat of the evening. Well done, Andy. You must be very happy to get the 3 interviews and bag the win. And you were away early doors there. That was an unusual reverse grid race, because there seemed to be a mixture. There was a little bit of people coming through very quickly, which you did much quicker than Andy Dorman and Thomas. Thomas seemed to get caught up in a lot of stuff, but a great win. And does it help you for tomorrow night as well, because you've got World Endurance League tomorrow?
It's probably driving these has probably thrown me off for the World Endurance League. But no, firstly, I think Harry's being far too modest there. I think his pace in that second race, I just could not pull away from him. I was pushing and pushing, and I was maybe gaining a 10th here and there, and then I'd drop a couple of and he was that was not as quiet and gentle as I was hoping it might be. Once I got out in front, he was really, really pushing me. So yeah, no, I think he's definitely got good pace on the sim. He's definitely gonna be one to watch out for.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of very, very good drivers in this championship, and yeah, I mean, looking down I think we were looking at top 12, top 15, probably all capable of getting podiums in one form or another in terms of the racing, which is pretty good for us to look forward to. And in the early laps, there was, I can't remember if it was yourself, did you tap the Alliance car?
I did tap someone into the old hairpin. Yeah, I think
you're not supposed to admit it, that's not in real racing. You don't admit it.
I tried not to gain any advantage from it.
It's all right. It's not like the Clarks listening.
This is what I like Andy, because he's open and honest about it, and you can ask him that question. So
yeah, no, it was. I think they took quite a defensive line into the old hairpin. So I sort of just touched the back bumper, but it was. I think I got a bit lucky in those first few corners. I think a couple of people had contact. And I think Tom got scooped up in that, and I think I just managed to avoid some cars coming across the track. So yeah, I got it's one of those ones where it's luck more than judgment. That was, but yeah, obviously then I had to get my head down and try and get out, because I knew other guys would be coming after me. And as I say, it was man, it was really. It was sometimes, I think, to Harry it was less than a second, then it was just over a second, then it was just managed to slowly get it up towards 2 seconds. But it was, yeah, really hard work, and yeah, it's going to be I think a long competitive series now.
I think it will be, and it's going to be a good one. So I think you're probably entitled to go away and get yourself a refreshment now. What's the refreshment of choice for Andy Carroll, our winner?
Oh well, I had a cider before I started, so I'll just get something cold and wet now, just maybe some water or some squash or something to rehydrate me, because yes, I'm rather. That was rather hot and sticky, that one. So hopefully next week, hopefully the weather's broken a bit and it will be a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, a little bit cooler. That'd be quite good. Snetterton's usually either very wet or very dry, so and we can't flip a coin, can we, and have a wet weather race at the moment, which is it's probably a good thing, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, well done, Andy Carroll. Super stuff, mate. 3 podium interviews, shed load of points, which puts you in P2. It's only 6 points, I think, down behind Andy. So well done, and we'll see you tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, we'll do. Cheers. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Andy. Look forward to seeing you
Take care.
tomorrow. But before we go this evening, we need to talk to our driver of the round. And that is James Black. Well done, James. Super job. We were really struggling with driver of the round. There were so many good performances at the sharp end. Drivers that were recovering from various things that happened. Drivers that impressed with defensive drives and then re-attacking and so on and so forth. But after race 1, we had to give it to you. It was a really good P4. I think you're 6th in the table after round 1. So yeah, congratulations. Just tell us a little bit about your evening.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think I've lost about 10 kilos in weight just through pure sweat and stress for that race. So 20 minutes in a Cooper race is long enough, let alone half an hour on a sim on the hottest day of the year. But yeah, I mean, race 1 ended before it even started. I had a good battle with my ex-teammate Alex Solly into the chicane, and then came out and there was a nice little safety car that was still on the grid that I didn't see because there was a Napa car in front of me. So that ended my race 1 pretty quickly, and then started at the back of race 2 and was a hero on lap 1, managed to not crash into anyone, everyone else fight each other off, and then it was a big battle on for 3rd and 4th place, which I presume you saw most of that.
We did. It was really good to watch, and I think out of the other drivers that we were thinking about for driver of the round, you came out on top of that, and that wasn't necessarily the whole criteria, but it certainly added towards it, and the fact that you came through from the back, stone last, and we think a reverse grid race, you're thinking, yeah, like someone 10th in race 1 might be able to get a win, but you were very near the podium in that one. So yeah, good start. Are you with us for the whole series, by the way, James?
I'm not there next week, I'm afraid, but the rest of the rounds I will be there.
Okay, what's happening next week?
A very badly planned holiday.
There's nothing wrong with that. We've got our World Endurance League leader is on holiday in the States at the moment, so I can't wait. Are you going anywhere nice?
I'll be off to Greece, so I'll be watching on the YouTube here in the commentary and seeing how my fellow competitors get on. But hope to come up with a bit more of a tan for round 3.
Fingers crossed, mate. Well done on driver of the round. Thanks for having a chat with us. Have a great holiday as well. We look forward to seeing you for round 3.
I will do. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, James. Very well done. Talking of holidays, we're missing a couple of people this week. Monroe Renard's on holiday, and he will be with us next week, I think, at Snetterton. And also, get well soon, Christian Gilliam, one of our regular drivers, who has a broken arm, and he's hoping to be back within a couple of weeks. So fingers crossed that Christian makes a swift recovery. Hoping we're going to see the likes of Simon Sweetland from the trophy as well. He is entered with the championship, so looking forward to seeing Simon around. But well done to everybody. A massive thank you for Dan Zelos, someone that we could probably get back again, because it was a cracking job, Dan. Thanks so much for your help today.
No, very much enjoyed it, and it was great to watch the mini racing. And yeah, I can't lie though, it did look quite fun out there. So maybe I'll have to give the sim a bit of a dust off, and yeah, see if I can get involved in some of those great battles that we saw today.
That would be mega news. Thanks, Dan Zelos. And of course, now Dan has experience of co-coms. We can stick him in the frame anytime we want, whether it's a television broadcast or otherwise. So thanks very much, Dan, for doing that. Thank you to our broadcast chief, Steve Allen, for doing a super job for us again today. We'll be back next Tuesday, Snetterton 300. If you fancy a little bit more sim racing, tomorrow it's the final round of the World Endurance League. So some of our regular drivers will be there, including Andy Carroll, who's chasing the championship leader, who's on holiday. So it's very much a points chase in that one. And we're at Sepang tomorrow for the GT3 finals, so looking forward to that. I'm going to do what the balloon is doing on the right hand side of the screen and float away, but I'm just going to say thanks ever so much for everyone who's got involved in this and putting it all together, and have a great week. If we look forward to seeing you next week for the minis, or have a great day if we're going to see you tomorrow for the World Endurance League. So from me, Dan, Rich Hayden, and all the team at Mini, thanks for watching. Be nice to each other. Always say that. Please be nice to each other. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Between the two of them.
The inside of coats.
Mark gets too heavily involved.
And that's white-headed coats.